Who doesn't know Jungkook, the golden magne of BTS who has thrilled the world with his soft voice, incredible talent, and charm that has captivated millions of people? But today, the K-pop world is on the edge of a rumor that not only invites controversy, but can also be a severe blow to the image of the good boy who has been attached to him. The rumors sounded impossible, even almost unbelievable, but too many pieces of the puzzle left many people speechless in fear. Is Jungkook teaming up with Satan's group? This is not an arbitrary conspiracy theory. This is not just a prank netizens babble on dark internet forums. This was the result of a series of clues that spread quickly, making the army around the world tremble in disbelief and demand answers. Is it true that the man who has been hailed as the Golden Magne is now playing with fire with a forbidden group that is touted as a symbol of darkness? It all started with a strange symbol in one of Jungkook's posts some time ago. The symbol looks trivial, just like a regular scribble in the bottom corner of his shirt. However, for observers of occult symbolism and conspiracy theory researchers, it is not just fashion design. It was the one eye, or better known as the all-seeing eye, a symbol that has long been associated with secret elite groups, Freemasons, the Illuminati, and even the cult of dark entities. And who would have thought? This is not the first time the symbol has appeared in Jungkook's life. The uproar grew as fans began to dig deeper. Some of Jungkook's old photos show oddities that have gone unnoticed. In a dark photo shoot for his solo album, there is a setting that looks like a pentagram, a five-pointed star shape often associated with satanic worship rituals. Is this just an artistic coincidence? Or is it a hidden message? Why is the visual repeated several times in his visual works, as if to convey something secretly to those who are alert enough to see? The questions keep popping up, and the answers that come up only make everything more inexplicable in ordinary logic. In a secret interview that has now gone viral, a former stylist who once worked for BTS gave a shocking testimonial. He claims to have seen Jungkook perform a silent ritual in the studio's back room at night, with candles lit around a large mirror. "I didn't know what he was doing," she said. "But his aura back then wasn't the Jungkook I knew. That's not light. It's a shadow." This statement was immediately refuted by Big Hit, calling that it was just a false sensation to bring down the reputation of their artist. But the public is already divided. Many soldiers rejected this news, calling it cheap slander. However, there were also those who began to get nervous, began to question why Jungkook lately looks much more gloomy, darker, more mysterious in every appearance. Many referred to that phase as part of his maturity. But is it really just that? Or is there something much deeper? Moreover, one of the lyrics of his recent solo song contains verses that, when translated literally, carry a striking meaning. "I surrender myself to the night, let the fire burn my immortal soul." Is this just a metaphor, or is it a declaration? The surprising admission also came from one of the army veterans who claimed to have followed BTS since pre-debut. He said that Jungkook's change did not happen overnight. "I realized something changed since 2021. His gaze, there was something hidden. I think he's hiding something from all of us." More surprisingly, many international fans reported that when they tried to voice these suspicions on social media, their accounts were blocked, their content deleted, and some even received threats via anonymous DMs. "There's something we don't want to know," said one Twitter user who eventually opened a long thread about what he called Jungkook's dark contract. Is it true that Jungkook once engaged in a ritual to exchange success for soul? Is this part of the unwritten requirements behind the glittering but enigmatic K-pop industry? Some speculate that in order to become an international star that quickly, one must dare to sacrifice something, and rumors about soul contracts in the entertainment world are nothing new. All of this brings us to the bigger question. Who exactly controls the Korean entertainment world? Is Jungkook just a pawn of the big game? Or is he fully aware of the path he has chosen? Many observers of pop culture began to unravel the connection between large agencies and the dark symbols that are often inserted in their content. Even HYB, the agency that oversees Jungkook, has been accused several times of inserting Illuminati symbols in the artist's music videos. But no one ever imagined that one of BTS's members, especially the beloved Jungkook, would be accused of having ties to a cult group. Now, the public spotlight is not only on songs, performances, or awards, but to the unblinking eye behind the screen. Is this just a sensation? Or is there a truth more frightening than we can imagine? Night after night, more fans began to connect the dots. They researched BTS music videos from the beginning of their debut. They found suspicious hand gestures, triangular poses, closed eyes, snake symbols, and more. Why didn't we realize it long ago? Asked one TikTok user in a frantic tone in his video that has been viewed more than 5 million times. Meanwhile, in the midst of this turmoil, Jungkook remained silent. He gave no clarification. It didn't give any signal. And that silence, rather than assuage it, burns the fire of suspicion even greater. Now ARMY is at a crossroads, believing that this is just a hoax that goes too far, or admitting that there is something darker hidden behind the stage light that they have been so adored. Is Jungkook really under Satan's control? Is this merely part of an artistic experiment? Or is this just the fruit of the public's desire to spice up the life of a too-perfect star? No one is really ready when reality begins to crack. Fans who have always revered Jungkook as their role model are now starting to falter, not a few of whom cried when they realized that the symbols they thought were cool and artistic turned out to have a darker meaning than they imagined. All this is not just an artistic coincidence. All this seems to be designed with a specific purpose, and the goal is not light, but dense darkness. A South Korean music analyst, who asked to remain anonymous for safety's sake, said he had noticed a change in nuance in Jungkook's music since the release of his last mixtape. There is a dark emotional intensity. The vocals are so deep, as if conveying a long-held pain. But if you listen carefully, you'll realize that he's conveying something not just about love or loss, but about existential despair, about surrendering himself to something far greater and terrible. Clues abound when a Reddit user with the pseudonym ARMY Unmasked posted a thread that has now gone viral. He claims to have gotten a leak from one of HYB's employees who left for reasons of moral conflict. In the thread, he shared some vague documents that looked like a schedule of media rituals, a term surprisingly used to manage Jungkook's release timing, visual style. In public appearances that were all dark and ritualistic. One of the documents listed instructions to accentuate the left eye, avoid the cross symbol, and use fire and mirror elements in music videos. Is this just a creative direction? Or is it a form of symbolism controlled by certain parties larger than just the entertainment industry? The next question shook the public deeper. Is Jungkook still himself? In the last few appearances before enlisting in the army, many fans complained that Jungkook's aura had changed drastically. "He's not smiling like he used to," said a longtime fan who saw Jungkook perform at the last concert. "His gaze is blank. Like, it wasn't him standing there." A photographer who once worked for a well-known magazine in Korea said that during an exclusive photo shoot for a magazine cover, Jungkook behaved strangely. He asked for a completely dark room. "We think it's for aesthetics." But then, he took out a small pendant with a symbol I couldn't describe and placed it right in the middle of the room. He prayed in a language I didn't understand. The photographer stopped working 2 months later because he said strange things kept happening after that.